Really, Stewie, I think putting a $5 bill taped to your front might be a little on the nose. Hi everyone, I am Robin. I am the copy bitch. This is the great Stubinsky, my sidekick sloth, because everybody needs a sidekick sloth, don't you think? Today we're going to talk about how to get clients as a freelance copywriter. I get that it's a bit of a chicken and egg conundrum. You're excited to start your business. You put out your virtual shingle. How do you get those first clients? Or maybe if you've been doing this a while, you need to kind of hustle again because of the pandemic or for some other reason, and you need some fresh ideas on how to get clients. Well, you are in the right place because we're going to talk about that, aren't we, Stewie? Okay, step one. Do you know any business owners? You probably do, whether it's a small business or a medium-sized business or even a large business. Friends, family, maybe you know someone who's in that vaulted C-suite and they can do an introduction to a marketing manager, because a marketing manager is the person who tends to assign projects to freelancers like freelance copywriters. If you know a small business owner though, they can be a great source of gigs and ongoing gigs as well. What you want to do when you're talking to them is ask them if they're having trouble with any of their marketing tasks. Like maybe they're putting out a monthly email newsletter, or maybe they'd like to be and they've kind of, fallen down on the job because they're busy running their business. That's something that you as a freelance copywriter can help with. A word about freelance copywriting. Let's talk about what copywriting is. I'm going to probably be hitting this nail over the head in many videos because there are many definitions out there. And at its most simplest, I don't even know if that's correct, but at its simplest, copywriting is simply any sort of writing that sells a product, service, or a cause. And you're going to hear different synonyms. It might be called marketing copy or content marketing or content writing or just writing. And people do debate the definitions, but at its simplest, that's what copywriting is. You're just using your words to sell something. It might be on a website page. It might be a blog post. It might be a social media post. It might be a YouTube video. But ultimately, when a business is putting out content, sure, they might be trying to gain exposure or get follows, but ultimately what they're trying to do is make a buck. We don't blame them for that either, do we? No. So that's what copywriting is. And if you're working with small business owners, you can really help them do that. And the nice thing about this work is that you can be doing it on a monthly basis. And that's what you want. You want writing that you can do every month for a business. So maybe you put out 2 blog posts a month and you handle their email marketing newsletter. That's great because now you have this regular work that you can count on, you can forecast your own revenue, and you're helping someone else with their business. So it's a win-win. And if you multiply that by 5 or 6 different clients, now you're making some good scratch, right, Stewie? As he holds up the $5 bill, times this by, 1,000 or something like that. Okay, another way to get freelance copywriting clients is through networking. Okay, I get it. Networking can be a dirty word, especially for introverts, and I am an introvert. I much prefer being by myself in a room, writing without wearing any pants. And networking requires you to actually wear pants, most instances as far as I know. So I get it if that's not your thing, but try to go out of your comfort zone. I think I just spit at the camera. Try to go out of your comfort zone and go to networking events. It's a great way to just perfect your elevator pitch, that 60-second elevator pitch, so you can talk to people eloquently without fear. You're going to have to do that with prospects anyway, so networking can be a good place to actually talk about what you do. I had a ton of success with BNI, which stands for Business Networking International. And as its name suggests, it's something that's around the globe. The beauty of BNI is that you join a chapter, and when you join a chapter, you are the only person with that profession. So I was the only copywriter in the group, and that's the nice thing about it. So you're not competing with other copywriters. When you look at BNI, if this is something you're thinking about doing, I recommend doing two things. Visit different chapters. I believe you can visit a chapter twice before having to submit an application. And the reason why you want to visit the chapter before actually applying is because different chapters have different vibes, and you want to see if you're going to be a good fit. The other thing you want to look for when you join a chapter is to make sure there are actually people in the group who you think you can do business with, because that's the purpose of BNI. You are generating referrals for other people, and they're generating referrals for you. So if you have complementary businesses, think web developers, think graphic designers, think marketing people, think PR people. All of those businesses tend to work with writers, and vice versa. So you can create this little powerful marketing sphere and generate business for one another and work together. That's what happened to me. Business Networking International, BNI, is a great networking organization to consider. Now, here's the catch. It is a commitment, both in time and money. You have to pay an annual fee, which can be kind of hefty, especially if you're starting out. Plus, I think there are monthly dues and other miscellaneous expenses. It's also a weekly meeting, usually at 7 in the morning, which can be tough for some writers. And you have to actually show up to really get the most out of it. Like you can't just join and expect things to happen. You have to participate. So it is a commitment, but it can pay off big time if you're willing to put in the time and a little bit of cash. Other networking groups can also be beneficial. There's the chambers of commerce, there are meetup groups, there are women's organization or its equivalent. If you're part of a group, seek out organizations that support that group. Also alumni organizations. And in the description, I'm going to include a link to a blog post on my site that provides more links to some of these organizations so you can check them out. So if you're worried and you're trying to scramble and write a bunch of notes as you're listening to this video, don't worry about that. I'll include a description and you can get all the goods that way. Another way to get clients as a freelance copywriter is to reach out to marketing firms, marketing agencies. Now, you want to work with agencies that actually have a staff. We're not looking at like a marketing consultant or a shop of one. You actually want to work with or look at firms or agencies that have a staff of writers. A lot of times these agencies, even though they do have the full-time staff, will have a stable of freelancers because they have overflow work. A great place to look for marketing agencies is the HubSpot Solutions Directory. And why this particular directory is so good is because the marketing firms that are listed there get inbound marketing, they get content marketing, they get HubSpot, and oftentimes they are desperately in need of good freelancers. And when I say good freelancers, I don't just mean people who write well, but I mean people who meet deadlines and who are nice to work with. Finding that combination, those three things, can actually be more difficult than you think. So once they find a freelancer who delivers the goods and meets the deadlines and is great to work with, they're going to give you more business. They're going to want to work with you. So it can be a great source of regular work. And if you make these connections with these marketing agencies, you could be good. And you might not have to network after that. Some tips when reaching out to these agencies: don't just send cold emails. I don't recommend doing that. Check out their websites, look at their careers section. Sometimes they will list the need for freelancers. Follow them on social media and engage with them on social media. Comment on their blog posts, comment on their Twitter posts so that they get to know your name before you reach out. See if you have any connections in common on LinkedIn, and then if you do, ask for a direct introduction, because that's going to work a lot better than sending a cold email. If you do send a cold email, just make sure it's personalized. Make it show that you've done your due diligence, you've checked out their website, you're familiar with their partner page on HubSpot, all that sort of good stuff, and hopefully you'll have some luck that way. Don't overlook other sites that list contract positions like Indeed.com and freelancework.com or freelancer.net, Upwork. I will provide lists all of these in the description, but you know what I'm saying. These can be a great source of potential jobs, and a lot of them do list contract positions and remote positions because, as we all know, especially post-pandemic, there's a bigger need for this. The key with these sites, I find, is that the early bird does catch the worm. So if someone posts something, you have to pounce quickly. But that's another place that's worth checking out if you need to find some clients for your freelance copywriting business so that you can bring in more of this times like a million. As I'm talking about all this, make sure you connect with everyone you meet on LinkedIn. Most people are going to have a LinkedIn profile, so connect with them. And when you do it, here are some tips. Make sure you send a personal message. Don't just, send a blank message. Send the personal message, say hi, give them a refresher as to who you are, because a lot of these people meet a lot of people in their day-to-day and they might not remember you. Make it personal, show that you've gone to their website, checked out their business, and then if they accept your invitation, follow up with another email saying, hey, I'm really glad we connected. And if they're local, maybe you get together for a cup of coffee, or maybe you talk about some sort of promotion you're offering through your business. You get the idea. Stay in touch. And then continue to stay in touch. I think the biggest mistake people make with LinkedIn is they do that initial connection. They might make it really personalized, but then the connections fall into this black hole. And you need to stay in front of people. They're going to forget. That's just who we are as a species. We are busy and our minds are clogged with lots of stuff. So reach out every quarter and just do a quick check-in saying, hey, I just wanted to check in and say hi. How's your first quarter going? Just wanted to let you know I'm here. Don't know if you have any work or if you know anyone who does, but I've added some new stuff to my portfolio. You can check it out. I'm here if and when you need me. And people are usually very grateful for that. Here's the thing. You might reach someone at the perfect moment where they actually need a writer, or they've heard about a writer that someone else needs, and you'll be like, they will be like, this is great, perfect timing. It's happened to me more than once, so it's worth doing that. And the way to go about it is just schedule it into your calendar. Every quarter or every few months, block out an afternoon where you just buzz through your LinkedIn contacts and do that personal connection. You will be surprised at how that pays off. It might not pay off right away, but it will over time, trust me on that. So that's a good strategy ongoing, whether you're in year 1 or year 20 with your business. Another great source of clients for your freelance copywriting business, happy clients. You will eventually start getting a roster of clients, and some of them are going to really, really love your work. Hopefully all of them will really love your work, but you know what I mean. People who really love you, who've said that, who've sent you nice emails, who compliment your work, who are always so happy, ask them if they know anyone who could benefit from your services. They're usually happy to make introductions or connections. Or again, even if they don't know anyone today, remind them that you are here and do that reach out like you do with LinkedIn and just let them know, hey, I'm looking for a new client. Do you know anyone? And they're always happy to make introductions, especially if you're as awesome at your work as you are, right? Right. Don't know if that made sense, but you get the idea. Here's one that always surprises people when I mention it. Get friendly with like-minded writers. And you might be thinking, why would I get friendly with the competition? There is enough copywriting work out there for everyone and then some. Think about it. Content drives all business. Think of the content you encounter throughout the day, from Facebook advertising to that ad that follows you around, from the Amazon object you were looking at to the Amazon object you were looking at, you know what I mean, from the Amazon product that you were looking at to the mail you receive, the snail mail, the direct mailers, the blog posts you read, the content, the checklist, everything. Someone has to write that. And not everyone is a full-time writer working for an agency or working for a company. A lot of these organizations outsource to freelancers like you. So there's plenty of work for everyone. That's my point. So getting together with like-minded writers is a great strategy, because you're only one person and you can just be so busy. I mean, if you want to be working 24 hours a day, great, but I don't. And so when I get too busy to take on stuff that comes in, and this happens a lot actually, I will outsource to my colleagues and my friends, being like, hey, would you be interested in this? And they do the same with me. So it's a good strategy. Don't be scared of getting friendly with other writers. And keep in mind that people have different specialties. I'm more of a generalist, but I have writer friends who are specialists in the financial world. So anytime someone comes to me for a financial website or something like that, I send it to my friends, because that's just not the type of writing that I do, but they do, and they do it really well. So definitely get friendly with other writers. Okay, a word about content farms or content mills. You'll hear those two phrases used interchangeably. I'm going to do a longer video at some point about my thoughts on content farms, but the short of it is this: should you write for content farms? And the answer is, it depends. My biggest beef with content farms is the fact that I don't feel that they pay writers what they're worth, and it kind of undervalues the writing that we're doing. But that's a different subject for a different video. Here's the thing: when you're starting out and you desperately need some clips for your portfolio and you just need some cash coming in and you need to build your confidence, a content farm could be a good place to do that. I wouldn't say that you're going to be working for them for the rest of your life, but if you do it for, a few months or 6 months or maybe a year, that could be a great way to practice your craft, get really fast at it. This could be a good way to get really fast at writing and making it error-free writing, getting some cash coming in and getting those all-important clips for your portfolio. I wouldn't necessarily say that you're going to be using a content farm throughout your career. You definitely don't want it to be your only source of income. It couldn't be, just because it doesn't pay that well. At least I'm not aware of any content farms that pay a wage where you could be working for them full-time, or freelancing for them full-time and making, mortgage payments. But if you're starting out, it can be a good source of income. Or if you like the work and as you develop more clients, maybe you keep that content farm as one of your clients. That can work too. Your mileage will vary. It's up to you. I don't think it's a horrible thing, but I think like anything else, it depends, and always go into it knowing the pros and cons. So there you have it. Those are my tips for how to get clients as a freelance copywriter. And as always, with all my videos, I am going to link to a longer blog post in the description that'll lead you to my site, where I actually go into more depth on each point. I include the links. That way, with these videos, you can kind of just sit back and enjoy and take it in. You don't have to worry about scrambling or taking notes. You can go to the longer blog post if you want to. If you're happy with the video, that's fine too. People learn in different ways. You do you, right, Stewie? And as always, if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, just, move along. And of course, subscribe and come back for more videos, because I am Robin. I am the Copy Bitch. This is Stewie, and we'll see you next time.